You ever watch an anime and suddenly go, nah bro, it's over. The background music fades, the other dude starts yapping a little too much, and then boom, you're goat, locked in, not thinking, not hesitating. Dude's probably had enough of this shit, bro starts tweaking, turning everyone to NPC, fists start flying, time slows down, eyes wide open. You know someone other than the animators are in for a bad time. So buckle up, because we're counting down the top 10 most certified, locked-in anime moments that made us scream, rewind, and question if we'd ever be that cool in our lives. Let's go.
Number 10, Gojo Satoru, 0.2 seconds domain.
領域展開無料空所
Most anime characters need time to power up. They scream, charge their aura, maybe give a speech. But Gojo Satoru? He neutralized an army of cursed spirits in just 0.2 seconds, an insane feat even for the so-called strongest sorcerer of the modern era. During the Shibuya incident, Gojo is dropped into an underground station swarming with curses and transfigured humans. Innocent civilians are caught in the chaos, screaming and running as twisted abominations flood the platform. It's a trap, carefully orchestrated to isolate him, overwhelm him, and, if they're lucky, take him out of commission. But Gojo's not shaken. He's calculating, watching, waiting, and then, without warning, he activates his domain expansion, Unlimited Void, for only 0.2 seconds. It's a surgical strike. In less than the blink of an eye, he freezes the minds of over 1,000 enemies, flooding their brains with endless knowledge until their bodies shut down completely. It's not just raw power, it's precision. Gojo controls it so perfectly that not a single civilian dies. He even limits the duration to minimize side effects for the humans around him. That kind of focus is borderline inhuman, and that's what makes this moment so terrifying. Gojo isn't out of control. He's not even trying hard. He's locked in with such confidence and clarity that he reshapes the battlefield in 0.2 seconds and walks away like it was nothing. This isn't just an anime power move. It's domination, strategy, and restraint all wrapped into one horrifyingly clean moment. Gojo doesn't just win, he decides who gets to walk away. But if locking in is scary when you're calm and calculated, wait till you see what happens when a character's locked in, but dying on the inside.
Number 9, Itachi's final battle. It's definitely not a good time if you have to beat up your own blood brother to protect him. Some characters yell, some cry, some go down swinging, but Itachi Uchiha, he locked in with silence, focus, control while already dying. At first glance, Itachi's final battle with Sasuke looks like a dramatic clash between brothers, one fighting for revenge while the other holding back secrets. But beneath the bombastic explosions, this isn't just a duel. It's a carefully choreographed goodbye. What most people didn't realize at the time was that Itachi was already dying. His body was failing, his vision deteriorating, and every move he made was perfectly timed to push Sasuke without killing him. Every jutsu was measured, every step calculated. And all the while, he was suppressing the truth, that he didn't hate his brother, he loved him. He wasn't fighting to win, he was fighting to transfer power, to protect Sasuke from the darkness ahead, and to tie up every loose thread of the life he sacrificed. It was a suicide mission wrapped in misdirection. And when it was finally over, bloodied, blind, and seconds from death, he didn't boast, he didn't beg. He simply reached out, tapped Sasuke on the forehead like he always had as a child, and collapsed.
Forgive me, Sasuke, but this is it.
That's not just a cool moment. That's a man who stayed locked in until the exact second he was allowed to let go. No breakdown, no fear, just silent resolve. But if Itachi represents quiet sacrifice, the next moment is the opposite, when a character finally snaps and rewrites the world in rage. Number 8, Eren Yeager War Declaration. There's a moment when Eren Yeager decides to no longer be the only victim of his own story, and that moment is now. Without a shred of mercy in his eyes, Eren transforms and becomes a walking apocalypse. By season 4 of Attack on Titan, Eren Yeager has changed. The angry boy who once screamed about freedom is now silent, sharp-eyed, and deadly focused. He's infiltrated Marley under a fake identity, sitting calmly beneath a crowded auditorium while the enemy gathers above him, unaware that the bomb is already ticking. Then comes the declaration. Willie Tybur, a Marleyan noble, stands before the world, calling for unity against the devils of Paradise. He doesn't know Eren is beneath the stage, listening, waiting, and then Eren speaks, calmly, coldly, to Reiner. You and I are the same. In that moment, it's clear. He's not asking for permission, he's not looking for peace. He's locked in, fully committed to what comes next. Seconds later, his body explodes into Titan form, bursting through the stage and crushing civilians underfoot. It's not mindless rage, it's surgical, strategic. The beginning of a war he planned, knowing full well it would make him the villain in the eyes of the world. This wasn't a power-up, it was a declaration of intent. Eren didn't hesitate, he didn't flinch. He gave Reiner that same look Reiner gave him that day. The day his trust was completely destroyed. Eren does not hold back because he had already made peace with what he was about to become. And if that moment made your blood run cold, just wait until someone locks in, not with his fists, but with his mind.
Number 7. Lelouch deceives the world with Zero Requiem.
That's zero.
Not every locked-in moment is about throwing hands. Sometimes it's about playing chess while everyone else is swinging swords. And no one embodies that more than Lelouch Vis Britannia. By the final episode of Code Geass, the world sees Lelouch as a tyrant, ruthless, unforgivable, a dictator, drunk on power. But behind that cold mask is a plan he's been crafting from the start. A plan so dangerous, so insane, that it could either destroy everything or save it all. Zero Requiem. Lelouch becomes the villain on purpose. He unites the world by giving them one enemy to hate, himself. And the final step? Letting his best friend, Suzaku, disguised as Zero, kill him in public. That's not just resolve, that's a death wish strategically timed to bring peace. What makes this moment certified locked in is how far he goes without flinching. He knows he'll be remembered as a monster. He knows the people he loves will never know the truth. He knows he won't live to see the peace he created, and he does it anyway. You're not wrong. I destroyed the world, and I created it anew. He made himself the villain, pulled every string, and gave up everything, including his life, to ensure the future had a chance. That's not power. That's total control of the narrative. A final move that no one saw coming, except him. But if that was a mastermind's final checkmate, but sometimes being locked in doesn't mean staying calm. Sometimes it means embracing the chaos, letting every buried emotion explode, and using that as fuel. Because where Lelouch plotted in silence, Yusuke Urameshi, he snapped.
Number 6, Yusuke awakens.
Some transformations are planned, others are earned. But this one? It was unleashed. Pure instinct, born from loss. In the middle of his brutal fight against Sensui, Yusuke Urameshi hits his limit. No energy left, no backup coming. And then, the unthinkable happens. He dies, right there in the dirt. His body goes limp, and for a moment, it feels like the series just ended. But death wasn't the end, it was the trigger. Because inside Yusuke, something ancient stirs. A dormant bloodline, demonic unstoppable, activates. Not because he wanted it, not because he asked, but because he had to survive. In a split second, his body reanimates, his aura twists into something terrifying, and his eyes change from reckless punk to something primal, dangerous, locked in. Yusuke doesn't even understand what's happening at first. His demon ancestor takes control, and for the first time, we see him fight without holding back, without rules, without human limits. His punches crush air, his aura scorches the battlefield. Even Sensui, the guy who had him dead a minute ago, is shaken. This isn't a hero moment, it's an awakening. The fight becomes something Yusuke isn't even consciously leading anymore. That's what makes it so intense. His body knew what needed to be done before his mind did. That is the purest form of locked in, when instinct fights for you before you even realize you're alive again. Next up, let's crank up the intensity and head into a locked-in moment that redefined what it means to go all in. Not just physically, but spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Number 5, Guts vs. 100 Men. No backup, no escape, just Guts, and 100 mercenaries all out for his blood. After rescuing Casca and setting her free to escape through the forest, Guts stays behind, not because he thinks he can win, but because he refuses to die with regret. He's wounded, exhausted, bleeding out, but none of that matters, because in this moment, Guts isn't fighting for pride or glory, he's fighting for a future he's never believed he deserved. He doesn't hesitate, doesn't flinch. He locks in. With nothing but his massive Dragon Slayer sword and sheer willpower, he faces the impossible. Each strike isn't just strength, it's defiance. Every time he swings, he's saying, "I'm not done yet." The fight goes on for hours. One man, one sword, one unbreakable will. By the end, Guts isn't even standing. He's crawling, still trying to kill, still trying to survive. And when the last mercenary finally drops, Guts collapses, barely breathing, but victorious. It's not just about winning. It's about enduring what no one else could. This is what it looks like when a man refuses to break, when pain becomes background noise and death is just a distraction. Locked in? Guts was beyond locked in. He was dragging his body forward through hell and daring it to stop him. Next moment will be another classic, the ultimate conclusion to the most mentally demanded cat and mouse chase in the history of modern anime.
Number 4. Like Yagami outsmarts L, the Game of Shadows ends. From the very beginning, L suspected Light, and for dozens of episodes, the two geniuses danced in a mental chess match, always one step ahead, always second-guessing each other. But Light, he was playing a different game the whole time, and when it came time to end it, he didn't flinch. L was right there, closer than ever to exposing the truth, but that's exactly what Light wanted. Every clue L followed, every test he ran, it all led him to the trap Light had been building for months. And then it happens. L's expression drops. Not fear, not pain, just realization. The rain pours down, Light stands over him like a god surveying his fallen prey. And as L's world fades, Light's twisted smile says it all. You never had a chance. In that moment, Light wasn't just locked in. He was untouchable. Every lie, every sacrifice, every calculated move paid off in a single devastating moment of victory. He played everyone, his friends, his enemies, even the viewer, because being locked in doesn't always mean brute force or explosive power. Sometimes it's a quiet smirk in the rain, when you know you've already won. But sometimes, being locked in isn't about power awakening. Sometimes it's about suffering silently, for someone else's sake. And when that happens, a single line of dialogue can say more than 1,000 punches ever could.
Number 3. Nothing happens.
何もなかった。
If Light's power was control, Zoro's was devotion. No schemes, no strategies, just the resolve to carry all the pain of another without expecting anything in return. After a brutal clash with Oars and Gecko Moria, the Straw Hat crew is left barely breathing. Luffy, practically on death's door. That's when Bartholomew Kuma appears, on orders to eliminate Luffy, and makes an impossible offer. He'll spare everyone if someone volunteers to absorb all of Luffy's suffering. Everyone's stunned. Even Sanji, who's ready to step up, is stopped by what comes next. Zoro doesn't speak. He just walks forward. With nothing but his body and spirit, he takes it all. Every wound, every ounce of pain, crashing into his very soul like a tidal wave of agony. And when Sanji finds him later, he's standing, bloodied, barely breathing, silent. Nothing happened. That line, chills. It wasn't about survival. It was about a promise. To protect his captain no matter the cost. And he paid it, in full, without fanfare or applause. No powers, no spotlight, just pain swallowed for the sake of someone else. Some warriors endure pain, others become it. But there's one moment that isn't just about pain or loyalty, it's about revenge so pure it transcended death itself.
Number 2, Ichigo becomes the final Getsuga Tensho.
無月
When Ichigo Kurosaki learns that the only way to stop Aizen, a villain who's outpaced every captain in Soul Society, is to sacrifice everything, he doesn't hesitate. To defeat a godlike foe, Ichigo chooses the forbidden path, to become the final Getsuga Tensho. It's not a transformation, it's an ending. By embracing this form, Ichigo doesn't just gain power, he becomes power. His body turns into a blade of pure resolve. His hair blackens, his aura compresses into a quiet storm. The moment he walks toward Aizen, there's no fear, no hesitation, no words. Just absolute stillness, like the eye of a storm ready to collapse the heavens. And when he finally unleashes Mugetsu, a single devastating slash that carves through the sky and erases Aizen's immortality, it's not triumphant. It's tragic, because the cost of that attack is everything. His powers, his strength, his identity as a Soul Reaper, gone. Ichigo gave up the very thing that made him who he was, to protect the people he loved.
That's not just locked in, that's letting go of everything, just to win once.
Now we're ready for number 1. We've seen betrayal, strategy, pain, and power. Moments that shook us, broke us, and sometimes even healed us. But what happens when raw emotion becomes divine strength? When a hero, pushed to the edge, finally crosses the line? We're not just talking about a battle. We're talking about the birth of a legend, a single timeless locked-in moment that will define the word for years to come.
Number 1. Goku turned Super Saiyan for the first time. The moment that redefined power-ups in anime forever. It's Namek. The sky is dark, the planet's core is unstable, and Frieza, the tyrant of the universe, is on a rampage. Goku has already done the impossible, pushed Frieza back, survived the unthinkable, but then something irreversible happens. Krillin, Goku's best friend since childhood, is lifted into the air, frozen, helpless, and in the blink of an eye he's blown to pieces. No warning, no mercy, just gone. The screen goes quiet. Goku doesn't scream. At first, he just trembles. That's when the shift begins. His fists clench, the wind howls, the ground cracks, lightning erupts from nowhere. You can feel it. Not just power, but emotion. Rage, loss, guilt. It all collides inside Goku, and what comes out isn't just a transformation, it's a statement. Golden light floods the battlefield. His black hair turns bright gold. His eyes, once soft and kind, sharpen into something furious, something primal. This wasn't the result of training. This was the awakening of something ancient, triggered by the deepest kind of pain. Frieza steps back, not because Goku is stronger, but because he's never seen him like this. Even as kids watching at home, we knew this was different. This was sacred. The term Super Saiyan had been teased for years in Dragon Ball lore, but in that one instant, it became real, and Goku became its first living proof. And suddenly, everything changed. The stakes, the power ceiling, the very definition of what it meant to go beyond. No one had ever seen a transformation this iconic, this earned, this locked in. It wasn't just a flex, it was a promise that Goku would never lose another friend again without fighting the universe itself to stop it. And from that moment on, anime power-ups were never the same.
And there you have it. Top 10 certified locked-in anime moments that still gives me goosebumps every time I come back. Some of the nominations on that list, I admit, are more like extremely dramatic character moments, whether it was Goku turning pain into power, Lelouch rewriting the world with a single command, or Zoro silently bearing the weight of his captain's suffering. These weren't just cool scenes because they have crazy Sakuga or whatever. They are memorable because they speak so much about the core ideal of these characters without using lengthy dialogue or extravagant phrases. Literally the epitome of show don't tell. These are moments that elevate the characters from just a cool guy to, alright, he's him. But hey, that's just our list. Now it's your turn. Which anime character had a locked-in moment that shook you the most? Drop it in the comments. Bonus points if it made you jump out of your seat. And if this video hits you like a 0.2 second domain expansion, smash that like button, subscribe for more anime heat, and we'll see you in the next one. Maybe press on that bell icon so you will be notified about all of my latest new videos. And as for now, I'll catch you later.